Wow. Welcome to the Africa Industrialization Week. We are live here in Laikipia County, and a big event happening down here in Nanyuki, to be precise, where a number of innovations are being showcased, even as Kenya joins the rest of the continent in marking the Africa Industrialization Week. This is one of the samples that you can be able to see that has been built by a Kenyan and is being used in the farms. They're able to carry hay with it, they're able to carry cement, and I'm told it can carry up to about 20 bags of cement. And this is just a glimpse of what to expect. This is the Africa Industrialization Week. I'll be your host for the next 1.5 hours. My name is Abi Agina, and we are live here in Nanyuki. The governor of the county, Nderitu, is also with us. He'll be addressing the various business leaders who are here, as well as the various banking institutions that are here. This is an important event because it captures the agenda that this year they're looking towards boosting innovations at counties. And this particular event comes at a time when the Africa Free Continental Trade Agreement is in force. And I'll just be able to show you what else is happening here, and a number of government as well as private sector players are here showcasing the great innovations that have been put together by various entrepreneurs. We'll also be hearing from the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Trade and Industry, that is Madam Betty Minor. Later on, we'll also be speaking to the Principal Secretary of the Industrialization Ministry. He's also going to be joining us, that is Ambassador Kaberia. But let's take a look at really what's up for showcase at this particular event. And what you can see right now, we have a very interesting innovation. Na ningependa mwenye ameunda hii atuzungumzie kidogo, utuambie unaitwa nani, na tungeomba kama unaweza toa kofia uweze kuonekana vizuri. Asante.
Okay, asante. Hii ya kwanza ni ya kusafisha maji. Na kwanza tunaweka maji hapa ndani. Tukishaweka maji hapa ndani, ikiwa ni chafu au ikiwa na chumvi wala kitu yoyote, ikirudi kutoka hapa inatoka ikiwa fresh. Kwa hivyo ndio tunasafishaga naye, na hakuna chemicals tunatumia. Hapana, sipokuwa namna hiyo tu. Sasa
hii maji ikishasafishwa ni mtu anaweza akakunywa?
Ya kukunywa. Hii ni fresh water. Panatumiwa kwa dawa, panatumia na nini, lakini yeye mwenyewe ni reflection ya jua.
Tujiona maji hata ukichota labda tuone ukikunywa. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what's happening here. Some very interesting innovations being done by the young and old entrepreneurs here in Nanyuki, and they're very optimistic that the county will be able to support and embrace such innovations in the county. Well, we are coming to you live one more time from Nanyuki, where the Africa Industrialization Week is being celebrated here, and I can see another interesting innovation. Hii ni ya Bwana John Mwangi. Tueleze, tuko hapa kutoka KTN News na tungependa kusikia mawili matatu. Hii ni nini na itasaidia kivipi, na umeweza kupata mapato kutokana na hii Kenya umetengeza?
Naitwa John Mwangi. Mimi ni innovators hapa Laikipia. Hii mtambo ni wa kugenerate stima ukitumia upepo. Sasa ukicha generate stima na ya upepo, ikiwekwa ina generate stima na upepo, ina charge kwa battery, kisha unakuwa na stima kutumia nyumbani kama vile runinga, friji na mambo mengine, hata kupiga maji. Kitu ningetaka kusema kuhusu hii innovation ni tupigwe jeki, hata na pesa grant ya kufanya research vizuri. Niyo ndio ningeomba, na ningeomba mtu angetaka kunifikia atanikuta hapa Nanyuki. Namba yangu ya simu ni 0710 547 265.
Bwana John, ningependa kusikia kutoka kwako Ilikuwaje ukatengeza hii, na ni challenges gani ulipata, na unaona serikali ya county ama serikali kuu inaweza ikaboresha je vitu ili muweze kutengeza vitu mingi kama hizi zenye hata tunaweza tukauza kule nje?
Ile njia wanaweza tusaidia nayo ni watupe pesa grant, sio loan, au pesa ambayo utaweza kulipa kwa miaka, upewe muda wa kulipa kabla ufike, upewe kama miaka 3 ya kama ulipi, alafu ukitengeneza uanze kuuza uendelee kulipa. Hiyo hata tutasaidika. Na ingine ni tunaweza pewa pesa ya grant, ambayo pesa hata kama unapewa pesa grant, unaweza kufanya kama ufikiri kulipa hiyo kitu, utaanza kufanya research vizuri na utafanya kazi kwa vijana. Yeah.
And I can see a number of people here and a lot to expect, and let's walk around and just see what has been able to be delivered by the different innovators. And of course, this is very interesting to see young people coming up with great value addition ideas. And we are now at one of the tents where they have different kinds of products. Labda tungependa utuongeleshe kidogo. We are live on KTN News, na utueleze ni nini inaendelea na umejipanga kivipi kuona biashara yako imenoga.
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Peter Kimarua, Mapiwa Maru and Products. Hii ni products za nyuki. Sasa kama hapa unaweza angalia, hapa kuna hii raw honey. Hii ni antibiotics, inakuwa dawa ya throats, kama uko na problem yote ya throats ina cure. Then kuna hii pure honey, sasa hii tumepack. Hii ni dawa ya chest coughing, ni nzuri sana. Then kuna product ingine hapa tunaita pure Maru and pure midwine. Hii inatengeneza, inaroa pressure na inaroa diabetes. Also ina act like a natural Viagra. Kama ukiwa na problem ya kinyumba, inatengeneza mzuri, inarudisha nguvu vizuri sana. Na still tunauza nguo kama hii unaona nimevaa hapa. Hii inaitwa B-suit. Hii sasa ile unafanya harvesting ndio unatumia. Then kuna hii smoker. Smoker ni ya wakati unatoa asali, hii unatumia. Hii inakuwa nzuri sana wakati unatoa asali. Then kuna hii hand gloves, wakati una harvest asali yako unatoa na hii hand gloves isikuje kupata bee sting ama kudungwa na nyuki. Then kuna hii nyumba ndio unaona hapa inaitwa Langstroth. Hii ni ya nyuki. Sasa ile unafanya harvesting tai unatumia, na sasa ile unaweka nyuki, ndio mzuri ya kutumia kwa nyuki. Yeah.
Unataka kuniambia all this has been done by you here in Nyanyuki?
Yote kazi yote ni mimi nafanya, na kama unataka kufanyia installation naweza kufanyia installation, naweza kuwekea installation kama hii ni sasa hiyo Langstroth, na nafanya installation na kuwekea nyuki. Nafanya training, ukitaka kutrainiwa maneno about na bees na kutrainia, ukitaka kufanywa harvesting na kufanyia hii na kufanyia harvesting. Sasa kama hii ni asali, ukitaka kufanywa queen brooding ama queen rearing, nafanywa queen rearing na kutengenezea, na ukitaka kutengenezewa hizo shida zote na kutengenezea.
Na labda tuambie kwa mfano saizi Wakenya wengi wanaingia kwa biashara. Wewe umeingia kwa hii biashara na unaweza inakupatia mapato ya kutosha ili kuweza kuishi, kushughulikia familia. Na ni nini unaona inaweza badilika ifanywe iweze kuboresha maisha yenu zaidi kama wafanyi biashara hapa Laikipia?
Kusema ukweli, hii biashara ya nyuki ni biashara nzuri sana na inaleta mapato. Ukitengeneza plot yako ama apiari zako, inaweza kukuinua, inaweza kukusomesha hata watoto, na inaweza hata kukusaidia kufanya biashara zingine. Yes. Sasa
nafurahi sana kuongea na wewe, na tutazidi kutembea kuonyesha Wakenya haswa ni nini inafanyika hapa Laikipia. Well, right now we can see the governor of the county as well as the cabinet, the principal secretary, They are making their way just to get ready for the next session, where they'll be addressing members of the press. They'll also be talking to the innovators and the various participants here at the county. Well, those are live pictures coming to you here from Laikipia County, where we have the Africa Industrialization Week currently underway, a number of key areas of focus. And this year's theme goes by the fact that they want to see industrialization being given priority in regards to championing the cause of the county. And just to quickly walk you through, this year's theme is titled Industrializing Africa, Renewed Commitments Towards an Inclusive and Sustainable Industrialization and Economic Diversification. Well, those are some of the key areas of focus that the county will be championing. And I want to now get an interesting insight, of course, from the Kenya Industrial Training Institute. And right now we want to just quickly get to hear from one of the leaders who are here. Maybe just begin by introducing yourself to us, and you can remove your mask so that we can see you, and tell us what to expect in this Africa Industrialization Week.
Thank you. I'm Perez Adema, the Director, Kenya Industrial Training Institute, located in Nakuru, along Nakuru-Solai Road. The institution was established in 1965 with the assistance from the Japanese government. Currently, it has an enrollment of 2,000 students, and undertaking various programs. We have various programs in technical training, and examinations are examined by NITA and Kenya National Examination Council. The institute has exhibited some products. These products have been made by students, because we train the students in footwear, technology, leather goods, and we have them there. We have a department in mechanical, we have a department in clothing and textile technology, and we have quite a sample of products that have been produced by the students. Indeed, all of these are products that have been produced by students while training, and at the same time we sell them to subsidize the grants that are given to the institution by the government. Yeah.
Tell us more about this year's theme, of course, for the Industrialization Week is trying to build sustainability and innovation. And as a training institute, have you been able to work towards strengthening innovation as well as building on research so that Kenyan goods can compete favorably in the international markets, just to ensure we have variety in regards to tapping the export opportunities?
Yes, in our curriculum, we ensure that our students are exposed to the current technology by linking them to industry. We have a period of 3 months where we attach students to industry to be able to adapt to the current technology that is in the market. Again, for sustainability, we ensure that our products are competitive to be able to compete regionally and internationally. So this is an aspect that is in the curriculum, and it is supported by the attachment in relevant areas within the industry, based on program per program. Right. Yes.
And finally, I just want to hear from you. At the end of this Industrialization Week, what would you like to see happening, especially now that we are moving into counties? Counties are playing an important role in trying to do value addition so that we get more value for money for the entrepreneurs.
Yes, as a training institution, and I'm glad to say that this county, Laikipia County, is a county that we are partnering with with in our institution, we have about 85 students drawn from this county undertaking various skills to ensure that they come and support the county of Laikipia. So it is a partnership we've been doing. We have it with the county of Nakuru. We also have students sponsored by the county government. Even the students in Laikipia have been sponsored by the county government of Laikipia. And that is something we really appreciate, because this is now trying to work together between the national and county governments. And this then will lead to the sustainability of innovations and industrialization.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We've been speaking there to the various players that are currently showcasing some of their products here at the Africa Industrialization Week. We want to take you now to the main podium, where we have key speeches that will be made by the Cabinet Secretary, the Principal Secretary, and of course the host governor, that is Governor Nderitu Mureithi. Let's now transition and listen in to the speeches.
And I'm also representing the County Commissioner, who is away on official duty. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome our guests to Laikipia, and more so the people who are participating in this. I know there are some who are not from Laikipia East, but they have come all the way from Nyahururu, Rumuruti, and within the neighboring county. So I just want to take the opportunity to welcome you. And I want to say that this is a very important event, and I would just request our people should learn. Don't just live here without learning something. There are so many skills maybe we need to learn. It is not made for fun, and I believe if we can improve, it can also assist us security-wise. Because what we are seeing, you can correlate security with what we are doing here. If we engage our youth, we engage our people, then we'll have few cases of insecurity. Thank you very much. I don't want to talk a lot. Asanteni sana, karibuni. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Commissioner. It is now time for remarks by the CEO, Central Region Economic Bloc, CELEB. Are you here? In the absence, I call upon Ambassador Johnson Wero to make your remarks. P.S., you will do it from up here. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies, Governor Nderitu Mureithi, and the entire membership of Laikipia County Government. I had seen your deputy. I hope he's around. My brother, Ambassador Keremi, the representative of the County Commissioner, and our employers, the small and medium enterprises. Good morning. I don't have much to say, as my colleague will indicate the policy and the tentative issues pertaining to this particular day, which is being observed in Laikipia County. I would like to give 2 or 3 guidances. First, Governor, you may have seen in the media that there's a delegation of the Kenya government going to DR Congo. That is an initiative of the ministry where I work together with Equity Bank. And it is an instruction from His Excellency President Kenyatta that we go into that country to look for opportunities for Kenyans, for Kenyan goods and services. I am leading the technical team. And from what I have seen, there's a gentleman who had a machine for drying maize. And he said that he has customers there. If your budget can allow, we peleka yeye huko. I organize for his air ticket so that we can support the expansion of our products beyond the boundaries of this county. And many others, if they can afford, the window of registration is still open. If you go to our website, www.trade.go.ke, please register there. Take your goods and the services there. It is highly subsidized by the government. So, other than your ticket and accommodation, the rest is arranged by us in cooperation with the Equity Bank. And if you require funding thereafter, we shall also support you in that particular aspect. Issue number 2 is to indicate that there's a government delegation to South Africa. Again, we are going there to showcase our competencies in the same fields of goods and services. We depart around 20th. So if there's any of these companies here and all over the country who may not have registered with us, please do. The terms are the way I've indicated. You will go to South Africa, meet with your counterparts. There is a lot of potential in that particular country. And why are we saying this? We are saying this because we have reached a stage in our development process where we must go beyond our boundaries. You will probably know if you are able to sell even one product beyond the county, like the company that was manufacturing yogurt. I was happy that they mentioned they were selling their products in Marsabit. And I had seen in the social media the governor was there. So if you go out to visit your colleagues in the counties, carry these people, governor, carry their products, because that is how we are going to reap the dividends of devolution. Again, if you are able to go beyond the boundaries of this great country and they sell the same products to our neighboring countries in Ethiopia, in Uganda, in Zambia, all that, what has the government done? It has collapsed these markets. We started with the East African community, a market of 150 million people. There are no boundaries between the 5 member states, Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya. Unatembea kuuza vitu zako. Now we are incorporating DR Congo in the next summit, if our leaders agree to our recommendation. We are also members of COMESA, and we are collapsing COMESA through the tripartite. So we have SADC, COMESA, and DAC, and eventually you have the African Continental Free Trade Area. So we have done our part. The standards teams are here to make sure that your products comply with the standards requirement of each country. And then you move. And then you move. The last thing I would like to indicate is that at the continental level, there is a celebration that is going on led by the African Union. And one of the things that we are trying to say under the African Union Commission leadership is that to get Africa to increase its share of global trade from the current 4% to about 16%, what do we need to do? We need to trade more among ourselves. We need to trade more with our global partners. Today we can source these products from China or from the US or from wherever, but that is not our ambition. Our ambition is to produce what we are currently importing, and that is why we have this particular day, to give impetus, to give hope, and to give policy and political guidance to all those that interact with us. We have had the issue of power, and I believe Governor at another level will be able to see whether the instruction given by His Excellency the President to reduce the cost of power by 30% by December. It is something that we shall celebrate in this sector because it is a direct subsidy to all our manufacturers and to all that produce alternative goods. I wish to stop there and give it back to the Director of Ceremonies. Thank you very much, Mr. Kirima. Nimeshukuru sana, and hongera to those people who have arranged this particular exhibition and the invitations. We wish you all a nice industrialization day. Shukran.
Thank you, Ambassador Wero. I now invite His Excellency Honorable Nderitu Mureithi, the Governor, to give us his remarks. Karibu, Governor.
Thank you, Kirima. Our two colleague PSs, ladies and gentlemen, karibuni Nanyuki and Laikipia. Na mujipigie makofi. Mujambo, Muriega, Chamege, Muga Kaire, Muriaseo, Eshokona, Erosoba, Eserian Pogin, mujipigie makofi, naona Wakenya wote mko hapa. Akam. Asanteni sana. I mean, we are very delighted to host you and to host Kenya's celebration of the Africa Industrialization Week. We are very, very delighted. We started off this morning with a conversation on energy, and PS Eweru has alluded to that conversation. You see, this tuk-tuk, the BJ50, I wish it could be brought here so that I can point to it. If you can find Jogu to just bring it up here. This tuk-tuk is competing with an Indian-made tuk-tuk. Okay? Both makers of the tuk-tuk, this Kenyan one from Nyahururu called Sagak Tech, and the one from India, have to use electricity. Isn't it? Now, Jogu is paying 21 shillings per kilowatt hour for the electricity that he uses to make this tuk-tuk. I know there was, I wouldn't say who, you know, in my previous life, I was CAS. In those days, we were called assistant ministers for industrialization. So my friends are here, Kirema being one of them, Odua, another man, I don't want to say his name. So he was very shocked to see, so he rode in and he said, "Hiya, it's moving." Of course it is moving. It's a tuk-tuk. It carries 900 kilos, far better than a competing product from India. Far better. It has 4 wheels, so it is more stable. That's why it has bigger, better payload. And Mr. Njogu, the one standing next to it, he didn't say he was making a Lamborghini. He didn't say that. He didn't say he was making a Bentley. He said he was making a tuk-tuk, Nadio Hio. And he makes it in Nyahururu today. So I hope you colleagues from the Ministry of Industrialization, before you leave, buy a few. I mean, if you really believe in buy Kenya, build Kenya, buy a few tuk-tuks. Yes. So that we put our money where our mouth is. Mimi mwenyewe have bought one at a personal level and ordered my government to buy a few. So, the reason we were having the conversation about power in the morning or the cost of electricity. And we have a number of the officers here who are involved in generation, who are involved in transmission of energy, who are involved in distribution, and we have their regulator. It's because, really, we want this manufacturer and the rest of them who are here, like the man making Mureri Engineering, who is making the grain dryer. And I agree with Perez, we must facilitate him to go on the trip to DRC. After the ceremony, we can have a sidebar na yeye ili tuone tumwezeshe aende kuangalia customers wake. So that's what industrialization is about. Now I know, and Kanojiraini is here, I know, for example, in this particular tuk-tuk, we have now begun to ask Jogu whether he is compliant to homologation. I challenge you experts sitting here to tell me what is homologation. Wale wanajua mkono juu. You see, hata nyinyi hamjui. So why are you bothering this man with homologation? Yeah, Kenya Standard 2715, sorry, Kanojiraini. I mean, this man wants to make tuk-tuks for the farmers in Nyahururu, and Nyandarua, and Nakuru. Why don't we facilitate him to make thousands of tuk-tuks for those farmers? After all, this one, and we have tested it, it can carry 900 kilos of fertilizer. Unaona hapa. And I hope it will be put to the test here so that the doubting Thomases can see what it is about. This tuk-tuk, 15 different small businesses, small manufacturers are involved in making it. 15 different ones. The ones who make the suspension, the ones who make the hub, the ones who make the steering column, and so on. That's what it is about. Now, because Laikipia is full of iron ore, which we now cannot make steel because we don't have enough power, we don't have enough electricity in Laikipia to be able to have a steel mill here to process the steel necessary to make that tuk-tuk. That's why we're having the conversation about power. Now, why don't we have the correct amount of power? Firstly, because Ketraco has not completed the transmission line from here to Rumuruti. But even when the Ketraco does that, KPLC will need to actually have better energy available to us. That's why ourselves, we are requesting government, national government, to allow the investment of nearly $60 million to create a 40 megawatt solar plant at Rumuruti to go ahead so that we can have nice clean energy that we can use to produce the steel that Jogu needs to make his tuk-tuk. Not one, but thousands and thousands of tuk-tuks. That's what, to us as Laikipia, industrialization is about. Now, it's not just Jogu. There is Kagiri, Davina Engineering. There is Mureri Engineering. Actually, we have 1,600 enterprises like him under support in the Laikipia Innovation and Enterprise Development Program. 1,600. They themselves employ 22,000 Laikipians. These enterprises. Tuwapigieni makofi. So to us, that's what industrialization is about. And we as governments, then our job is to facilitate that to happen. We were discussing with the MD of KIE, and I know he has good finance, particularly because it is longer term, it is 8 years. He's at 10%. Our SMEs at the moment are accessing credit at 7%. 7%. But granted, our term is not. So you and I, KIE and Laikipia County Government, should work together because you are able to go longer term than our instruments that we are applying with the commercial banks, so that then we can get longer term finance. For instance, if you look at Njogu, he requires a press. He requires molds and press. He requires a whole production line so that all these panels are made not manually, but they are made through automation. For him to do that, he requires to invest 120 million shillings. So it will need KIE and IDB and possibly ICDC to make it happen. And we, as Laikipia County, we are happy to come to the table as investors through Laikipia County Development Authority, so that we put together a financing package of 120, 130 million shillings and have a full production line of tuk-tuks here in Nyahururu. And with it, create thousands and thousands of jobs. To us, that's what industrialization means. So we hope we can work together as institutions of government in Kenya to transform this thing. I know some of you were skeptical about this tuk-tuk. It's supported by engineers from Dedan Kimathi University. Njogu himself is the innovator. He's supported, of course, by officers from my government and many other partners. So again, that is what to us industrialization is. As I come to close, I honestly believe, and I want to appeal to all Kenyans, you see, we have to believe in ourselves. I don't know, I think the UNIDO rep was going to speak for us. I don't know if she's here or not. But anyway, I just want to tell you a story that happened to Kirema, since Kirema is here, and Udua, they are here, and myself. A few years ago, when we were all working together, some people came from Silicon Valley. They were venture capitalists, and they were looking to be connected to Kenyan SMEs who are who do apps for mobile phones, because Kenya is regarded as one of the go-to places for people making applications for mobile phones and other gadgets. So when they came, and I turned around, when the Treasury people, some nice folks, asked me to meet with them, and I turned around to look, of course, for our team. So our PS then, I think, was John Crop, Professor Runyangapuo. So when I turned around and asked, oh, where is the PS? I was told, oh, don't you remember, they went to India with Mr. Udua and Mr. Kirima. To do what? Technology transfer. So UNIDO and our partners here had financed us to go to India for technology transfer. And that's okay. So I said, what technology are we going to? Biogas. You know, there's nothing wrong with biogas. It's a very nice, clean source of energy. Okay? Nothing wrong with it. Except now, here we are. Americans have come to town because they believe we have technology. But because we don't believe in ourselves, we have gone to India to look for technology. It's my appeal for us to industrialize Africa. We must get out of that mindset. We must get out of it. We must use standards in the correct way. Njogu is not claiming that this is Tesla. Oh, I don't know what is the right car today. Maybe it's Lexus. He's not saying that. He's making a tuk-tuk. The competing tuk-tuk, frankly, is poor quality, is less stable, has less payload. Why can't we support Njogu to make thousands and thousands and thousands of tuk-tuks across Africa for him to sell? Simuseme amen, nampiga makofi. I mean, how else are we going to industrialize if we do not believe in our own products? Now, all these SMEs on here, they are here exhibiting products that they are making. So it is up to us as government institutions to make it possible. This budget, we've just gotten approval from the county assembly to try and give these SMEs some relief on power. And we are going to be doing that this budget. As I already indicated, we got some, authority from our county assembly to provide the relief. That's why they can get credit at 7%. But we need to systematize that and scale it up. In Laikipia today, our own economic stimulus program that is allowing us to provide that kind of relief is about 3.3 billion shillings. So it is my hope that scaling up nationally would mean something like 150, 200 billion shillings, so that we can support hundreds of thousands of small businesses. Because if we as Laikipia, at the moment, we are supporting 1,600 micro and small manufacturers like Mr. Njogu. As a nation, we should be able to do 500,000, 700,000, so that we can transform our economy. So we are very, very proud to be asked to host or co-host Africa Industrialization Week. So we'll be here today, tomorrow, and the day after. And we invite all Kenyans who are listening to us or seeing us on television, live on Facebook and Instagram and on Twitter, to come through and look at the amazing products that Kenyan manufacturers, particularly small and micro manufacturers, are making, and to make the commitment to industrialize Africa by industrializing Kenya. I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And it is now my duty and pleasure to invite PS of Industrialization, Ambassador Kiremi Kaberia, to speak to us on behalf of the CS, but also on his own behalf. Karibu sana. 1 second, we sanitize the mic. Mpigiani Ambassador makofi.
Thank you very much, Governor. Our Governor for Laikipia, my brother and colleague, Ambassador Wero, other directors and senior officials of the ministry, our innovators, our traders, our business people. Good afternoon. It's really a great pleasure for me. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today to celebrate Africa Industrialization Week. To support you, Honorable Governor, I remember reading something from Frederick Douglass that said that true independence certainly comes from control of your means of production for the items that you consume every day. So seeing the capacity of many people in this field today who are producing to service, to support, to enable our daily life, improve our quality of living, make it easier, is really something that I'm proud of. I speak today on behalf of 3-4 of us. We were supposed to have our CS and our CASs, but we decided to divide ourselves because there is a lot of work. So we sent CAS Karanja to Mombasa. Oceani CAS was sent to Nyeri. Myself and Ambassador Wero are here. And then our CS is also leading the team in cabinet today because we have a number of bills that are going through. So as you can see, we support you, we agree with you, and we are happy and proud to be part of Laikipia. I'm also a proud resident of Laikipia. I'm a farmer here, and I'm also happy to say that my brother, Ambassador Wero, is a very good and kind neighbor. He's been my friend since we were young in foreign service, and we continue to be blessed to work together and to support each other. So here again is not only the government machinery supporting Laikipia and the Sereb community, but we are here again saying the children of your community are here at your service. A clap for Ambassador Wero for the work he's doing. is doing great work, really, trying to make sure that Kenyan products are available out there. Our work is to enable him by making sure that those products are produced competitively, affordably, sustainably, and in the highest of possible standards. We also acknowledge with thanks the financial support from different people that have come in with us, starting with UNIDO, who are our partners today. Can we clap for them, please? Your Excellency, Governor Derito, who is also a friend of mine for many, many years. In fact, I was his father's friend. It is as it is, but his father was my good friend, and by extension, he became my friend. We also thank you very much for supporting us and making this day really possible. I would like also to take this opportunity to acknowledge with thanks the financial support from our state corporations. We have a number of heads of state corporations and other representatives. Please just stand so that everyone may see you. Look at that. We have Ken Invest, we have KIE, we have KEBS, we have KIPI, we have Kenya Trade Remedies Agency, Anti-Counterfeit Authority, Mosea. Listen to all that. I thank all of you. I think we are many. I can see even EPZA, I can see SEZ, Cesar. You're all here, and I thank you for being here. Let me appreciate you collectively. Let's clap for all of them. But also I would like to thank Vilgro Africa, which will, who have supported us, and their support will go a long way in meeting the cost element associated with the celebrations in order to make this occasion really a success for Kenya. Vilgro, please, let's clap for him. Thank you very much. The African Industrialization Day is celebrated on the 20th of November each year across African continent to mark the progress made in realization of the African Industrial Development Agenda. It accords governments and other organizations in Africa an opportunity to examine ways to stimulate the industrialization process. In Kenya, the industrialization agenda is delivered from the Big Four agenda, which has 4 pillars. And as you all know, it's manufacturing, universal health care, food security, and affordable housing. This year's theme for Africa Industrialization Week is Industrializing Africa, renewed commitment towards an inclusive and sustainable industrialization and economic diversification. 10 priority sectors have been identified to drive industrialization in Kenya, and these priority sectors are as follows. 1, textile. 2, leather. Food processing. Furniture. Pharmaceuticals. Paint. Cosmetics and detergents. Automotive. Iron and steel. And lastly, cement. The MSMEs exhibitors that we have here indeed represent all priority sectors. These SMEs have proved to be innovative and flexible, and this was demonstrated following the outbreak of the COVID-19 and the reporting of the first case of coronavirus in Kenya in March 2020. We urge all our guests to feel free to sample products showcased by these hardworking Kenyan entrepreneurs who constitute approximately 98% of the total working population, and they also contribute over 24% of the gross value addition and the national output. Indeed, the MSMEs are the bedrock of our economy. Let us dedicate ourselves to the best. Can we give them a clap? Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, We have committed and dedicated ourselves to render our services in the most effective and efficient manner. In July this year, the State Department of Industrialization and its SAGAs held a strategic team-building retreat in Meru County under the theme, "Are the machines in your village still on?" The power of the local production and the cottage industry. We sought to re-energize ourselves and to consolidate our collective efforts in service delivery to Kenyans on matters industrialization. We sought to conduct a strategic review of collective inputs towards achieving the Big Four agenda, with special focus on our core mandate, which is the manufacturing pillar. We rededicated to roll out our services closer to the people of Kenya, and for that reason, we are here today, moving on with that commitment. Among the resolutions that we made were, one, we resolved to consolidate annual work plans of SDI and its SAGAs to enhance efficiency. We also agreed to foster synergy and collaboration in policy, program, and project design, in implementation, monitoring, and evaluation among our groups. We agreed to relook at policy framework for industrialization to incorporate emerging issues and mega trends, such as fourth industrial revolution, as we move forward. And I hope our innovators with the tuk-tuk are going to benefit from this dedication, because it is people like you that make us go to work every morning. And as they sang when we were at the retreat, in this world, there's a place for people like you. We also dedicated to enhance collaboration between state and non-state actors for supporting MSMEs' growth and innovation startups. Here today, we have all the agencies of government that are responsible for ensuring that this support continues and reaches as far out as possible. Therefore, ensuring that our footprint as industry is expanded and is across the country. Recent initiatives in support of local industry, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to review our policy and legislative framework for promotion of industrialization and enterprise development, while keeping focus on the changing global environment. Among the recent development in this area, Kenya's micro and small enterprise policy has been developed, the local content policy is in place, preferential procurement master role, and the intellectual property bill. When you look at all these collectively, you start seeing the enabling environment being built to ensure that small to medium-sized enterprises across the country have an advantage, have a chance. For instance, the procurement master role means that we are able to outline commodities and products that are made by our SMEs and other local enterprises that are given priority. When government buys, it buys from them first. We have gone up to 40% in this regard. We also have the intellectual property bill, which was passed. We have KIPI here. That means when you have products like this, they are patented, they are protected. For a long time, we've had stories of good innovations, and I am happy to hear what the Honorable Governor said, that at some point, people would come here to see what we have in terms of app development. But also in that same line, we've had a lot of cry of young Kenyans who have developed things and they have been taken away by foreigners and they never get to see the benefit from it. To stop that, we have KIPI, which actually is ensuring that your innovations are registered. I know we have a lot of people both online and others who are on TV and in other places watching us. We want to encourage you and say, work with us. Let us collaborate to ensure that this is achieved. The Kenya Micro and Small Enterprise Policy is actually live and is important. Further improvement of the environment for local industry is part of what we are doing, and we have developed Kenya Micro and Small Enterprise Policy on promoting the small and micro enterprises for wealth and employment creation. The policy outlines the direction the country intends to take in making SMEs sector competitive and productive in order to contribute its rightful share in Kenya's Vision 2030 and the Big Four agenda. I hope you do understand that here I would actually like to speak like a governor off the cuff. But at the same time, there are specific areas that must be understood because they go beyond just the things that I could say about some of the things here. When you look at local content, the policy objective is to enhance in-country value addition and retention of Kenya's resources and advocate for according preference for Kenyan-made goods and services for the purpose of spurring local economic development. The policy further emphasizes attaching true value for Kenya's natural resources if the country is to derive its fair share from their exploitation. We talk about having iron ore in this country. We must bring into synergy the various supporting sectors. If it's energy, if it's extraction, if it's storage, transportation, all this must be looked at collectively for us to really be able to say we are able to regain or derive the true value of that natural resource for us and for our country. For a lot of time, we have continued to have all these natural resources or raw materials exploited, but when you look at the net gain of what we get as a country, it's really small. That needs to change. Also, we want to provide for quarterly reporting on compliance in meeting with local content thresholds and allow the Cabinet Secretary responsible for industrialization to present the state of local content in Kenya on an annual basis. Here, you know, what we've managed to do is to say it is the responsibility of Kenyans to know what the ministry is doing to ensure that their products are actually addressed and used by both government and other MDAs. I will move to preferential procurement master role. And here we have published Preferential Procurement Master Law number 1 of 2020, which comprised of 334 products and categories, and the Preferential Master Law number 2 of 2021, which has 682 products and categories, and is at the government press as we speak. Although not exhaustive, in terms of what is made in Kenya, the Master Law are a guide to the procuring entities on the products made in Kenya. And for those people who are making products in this county and in other counties, we reach out to you to request, kindly make sure you reach out to us so that we are able to include you and your products so that you have a preference when we are purchasing or procuring services and goods. For improved efficiency and effectiveness in undertaking the above, and to cut down on cost, the Presidential Task Force on Parastatal Reforms in their 2013 report recommended that 3 intellectual property institutions, namely Kenya Industrial Property Institute, KIPI, the Anti-Counterfeit Authority, and the Kenya Copyright Board, be merged to form one government-owned entity. The ministry constituted the terms to undertake the merger, and this work is ongoing. But before I move out of here, I would like to actually just put this aside for a minute and just talk to the people of Laikipia. We are pushing an agenda called OVOP. OVOP is one village, one product. We are mapping the whole country to ensure that in every one of our counties, we know what are the top 10 most prevalent natural resources, what value addition is required there, and what kind of industry is necessary for us to either improve, take to market, or even bring together to manageable levels all these products so that the local communities may gain. Also within OVOP, we are taking again the baseline or the data that we have on this product and saying, why should we always be suffering to take the product to the industry? Let's find the commodities and take the industries to the commodities or to where the raw materials are. This will improve the footprint of our industry. It will also expand the knowledge transfer. When the governor talks about knowledge transfer, I don't think it is being transferred as much if we're just taking raw materials and sending them to industries, either in the capital or in other countries. If we bring the industries here, then the local people continue to grow and to learn. I also want to ask the young people to start looking at ways of coming together. I was very impressed to see the person who is developing the dryer here. If you think about the power of just that item alone, you start seeing, in the past we have millers who are saying we cannot buy Kenyan corn because Kenyan corn has aflatoxin. Aflatoxin comes because the corn was not properly handled. And here we are saying, pick your corn, dry it in the right way, and with that, we will be able to actually increase not only value, but also shelf life. We will also be able to bring in higher technology. When the governor tells me, oh, we need to give resources to the innovators of the shaft cutter so that he's able to make it more consistently in more accurate ways, I see the point. Then we are here with the Bureau of Standards, with the financier, with the R&D people. We're here in full to support this kind of production so that, as Frederick Douglass said, we are in control of our own production, and we are the ones who determine the sustainability of what it is that we consume. If COVID-19 didn't teach us anything, it taught us one thing, that if you're able to produce what you use, you're sustainable as a country, you're sustainable as a people, and your future is better guaranteed. It is now my pleasure and my honor to say, to declare that it is my duty and my honor to declare Africa Industrialization Week 2021 celebration officially opened. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador Kirimi Kaberia. The celebrations are now open, and I urge ourselves to ensure that we take time and now visit our exhibitors today, tomorrow, and the day after. We will have ample time to discuss with our institutions for the services they offer. Those enterprises that have been hearing about the Kenyan Bureau of Standards, they are here today. KIE, KIPI, Anti-Counterfeit Agency, EPSND, and the others. Be free to engage them. The rains are blessings, isn't it? And this is to make sure that we stay put and hear more of this good message. We will now have opportunity, when it rains, for our sagas to give us a quick run of the services they give us just before we take a break for lunch when the rain subsides. Who is ready and wants to go first? I see Kano is seated there. Are you ready? Kids? Yes. Come to your stand. I know we have our own day for presentations. You are ready? We will come to you. He says he is ready. You can use the mic up there. Yes.
Our chief guest for today, Ambassador Kaberia, the PS for Industry, Ambassador Weru for Trade, Your Excellency the Governor, all invited guests, small micro medium enterprises, everyone, good afternoon. Yes, my name is Bernard Juraini, the Managing Director, Kenya Bureau of Standards, the agency that is responsible for governing and maintaining standards, metrology, and conformity assessment in the Republic of Kenya. Today, as we celebrate the Africa Industrialization Day, we are glad that we are doing it here in Laikipia, and we appreciate our governor, Your Excellency, for inviting us here because we take you as a role model in terms of giving us the way forward in terms of industrialization. We are very pleased that today we are able to appreciate our very own, what I would say, motor vehicle that has been developed by our own here in this country. As Kenya Bureau of Standards, our mandate basically is to develop standards, and KEBS does not develop standards. Standards are developed by stakeholders, experts, on a consensus basis. They come together and agree on the specifications for quite a number of parameters. And without standards, there is no opportunity for growth. There is actually no opportunity for us to improve and trade. As we celebrate the African Industrialization Week, we know, like the governor said, that our contribution is very low in the global trade. That is 4%. On that end, we are not doing very well. And I'm quite excited on the data that the governor gave us this morning, indicating that in this county, we do have iron ore. I remember when I was working in numerical machining complex, one of the project was integrated steel mill. And one of the raw materials for that is steel, is iron ore. If we are able to unlock that, we are surely going to move forward. So as Kenya Bureau of Standards, our job is to facilitate trade through development of relevant standards. A simple case like the mask that you're wearing on require a number of things to be right. For the filtration efficacy to be okay, you have to have the right material, the dimensions, even the tensile strength of even the straps, because they fail quite occasionally. You have to test how is it able to even filter. And therefore, team of experts must come up and agree on these parameters. Sometimes it's quite discouraging to our innovators, to our small, medium enterprises, to emphasize the compliance to these requirements. But we do that as a regulator to ensure that the product that we are making really are product to benefit them. So as we continue developing these standards, we encourage the small, medium enterprises, the uptake for the S-mark, because once you manufacture or produce a product, you subject them to the various tests to meet the requirement. We issue you with a quality mark. And it's on that basis you'll be able now to sell that product to either DRC, Congo, Uganda. No, we are talking about now bringing on board DRC, We are talking about how now the gentleman who is manufacturing the machines here, how is he able to sell them outside beyond our borders? The only way is when they are certified, because the other national standard bodies from other different countries will only recognize those products as long as they have the quality marks, based on mutual recognition of quality marks as agreed between our partner states. So we therefore encourage all the manufacturers, whether you are small or big, come to us. Our main interest and focus is actually not in the infrastructure. Our main focus, as it now, because we have now developed a policy, SME policy, is on the product itself. Yes, we do appreciate that. If you do not have the control measures to consistently produce the product that you're talking about, you may not be able to sell this product. But our main focus for now is to ascertain the product you're manufacturing. Whether you're manufacturing it in a small workshop, we have certified quite a number of products. Those that are make barbed wire, chain links, and many other, even including the food product, as long as you meet the requirements. So it is our interest as regulator to ensure our product certification scheme reaches out to almost everybody. And we are encouraging the consumers to also be our partners in this journey to ensure the products that are out there in the market do have the quality marks. There's a very simple procedure you can check whether that product has a permit. You just need to text the permit that is usually underneath the S mark to 223, and you get a feedback. And the essence for this, because I get a lot of questions, our SMEs ask me, why are we buying honey from Tanzania or Uganda or other countries? And I tell them we have already made an agreement that we are going to expand our market from 47 million Kenyans to 150 million Kenyans. So we are going to trade with a bigger population pool. The only way you can be able to access that market is you to get the S mark. So we are here today to pass message to Kenyans in general. First and foremost, to register with us, get their product certified, then in general asking Kenyans to be more patriotic, to buy our product as Kenyans, as the governor has said here. When you find today a good Land Rover, most probably is driven by a Briton. Not because he didn't know that probably another model is better, more efficient, but he's also patriotic to his country. A product made here in Kenya, if there is a cost difference between 10 shillings or even up 10%, is preferable. This is the only way you will not have many CVs in your house or walking around trying to see who can employ your son, your cousin, your nephew. The only way is to embrace products that are manufactured within the country, irrespective of how good. A small difference will not create a big problem. I was looking at the current data on the furniture that we import. We're spending about 11 billion on importation of furniture. I believe through our policies that we have in the ministry, Buy Kenya, Build Kenya, import substitution policy, and now moving toward on how we can reduce our power consumption, that will ultimately achieve what we are looking for in terms of preference of products made here in Kenya. If you look at the furniture section or area, the issues of quality is very critical because the consumer needs a product that is nicely done. We have now currently people in this country manufacturing a router. You know what is a router? Is a machine that is able to generate different profiles. It's CNC machines, plasma cutting machine. The one we were saying can improve the quality of the product that was being manufactured by the gentleman here. A plasma machine, you just need to get a good drawing and it will cut you the very correct profile. If you have a bedding machine, is also going to bed very good beds. And if you have punching machine, which are small machines that I know NMC is working on, can be able to facilitate production of quality product that can be sold. In line with the manufacturing, because the PS had talked, we are very keen in ensuring that we support local manufacturing without a lot of issues. And the other thing that we are doing as KEBS is to ensure we have a level playing ground, safeguarding against unfair trade practices. Because if we are also allowing substandard product coming into the country, and as we have seen a gentleman here who is making the charging cable, he is telling me the cables that we are importing are not durable. One of the things that you find when you buy electrical cable is that it fails to add the connection area because it has been made using poor quality raw materials. The conductive resistance is also maybe poor, and that's why it fails after subjecting it to maybe overnight heating during charging. If we are able to control the quality of product coming into the country, we'll give an opportunity for our people here to be able to do that. And therefore, that is why we are calling upon consumers to partner with KEBS to be able to ensure that the products that are being consumed here meet the standards. Some times back, I know the multi-agency activities created a lot of debate as to whether really the activity was beneficial to the small traders. But the interest of the government is to ensure that there is a level playing ground, there are no substandard products, and consumers' interest is taken care of. And that is the only way a local manufacturer will be able to compete here locally and be able to produce things. He will not only sell to Kenyans, but also sell outside there. The other aspect that you need to consider that we also play a very critical role is measurements. If you are going to produce probably yogurt, you have to have a control measures to ensure you are consistently producing yogurt that is, first of all, nutritious, that all the parameters that you've stated, it meets them. In addition to that, the undesirable chemicals and toxins are not inside that food product. We are going to also ensure the microorganisms are not there. How do you ascertain that? The only way you can ascertain that is to have a laboratory system, a laboratory that you are able to measure these parameters. And that is the only way then your product will be preferable by other people outside the country. We therefore are the custodians of the national standards, that is the weight, mass, length, temperature, pressure, and the others. We provide traceability to international systems of units that you can only get the true kilo from Kenya Bureau of Standards if there is any disparity or deviation. If you want to get your calibrations calibrated, your gauges and all that, the other equipment calibrated, come to Kenya Bureau of Standards. That is the other role that we do play. We want to advise that before you decide to import probably spare parts, equipment, raw materials, by the Kenyan standards. It costs about 2,000 to 5,000. That is the average cost of standards, so that you can understand the specifications. Quite unfortunate that we have, in the past, had to destroy a number of products. That is not our policy. Our policy is to educate people to understand what they need to import. A retired teacher who decides to venture into import business, the very first step he needs to do is to acquire the Kenyan standards. From that, you can now make arrangements to travel, or even now through e-commerce, order this product. We have arranged that you don't have to travel to do inspection. We have engaged third-party partners who inspect on behalf of KEBS to ensure that this product coming into the country meets the requirements. And therefore, this is an arrangement to facilitate trade and to ensure that you have not been conned. If, for example, you're importing electrical cables, you're in that business, you need now these products to be tested to ensure they meet the requirement of the standards so that you don't incur losses. Any product that is destroyed within this country is a loss to a country. It's like burning money. That is not what we want. So we are encouraging all importers, businessmen, to avoid incurring all these losses. And the other thing that we also escapes, like talking about, is the cost of poor quality. The cost of poor quality, if I give an example, is like when you buy a plumbing fitting that fails every 3 months. You'll have first and foremost to invite a plumber in your house. That plumber is going to cost you probably, depending on who you are in society, maybe 1,000 shillings. You're inviting strangers into your compound. You have to look at security issues. Then the cost of repair itself. And then thereafter, you're going to invite him after 3 months, after 3 months. You'd rather have bought this product initially that is going to last longer. And that is the simple principle behind the cost of poor quality. Thank you very much. We really appreciate.
Thank you, Bwana Director, Kenya Bureau of Standards. Just before we